All right, and we are back. We'll break it down, and this is time for the segment 2. Of course, we're going to be talking about the rule set.
Yes.
And so we have some lovely guests that are going to partake in this. Man, D1 looks like what is wrong with this guy? Gosh. Anyways, you guys want to go ahead and introduce yourselves for the uninformed?
Well, obviously we know who should go first. Mr. Sakurai Award winner here. Go ahead, buddy.
What's up, guys? My name is D1. I'm a Twitch partnerships. Well, what is it? Oh, yeah, there you go.
Okay. Next. All right. I'm HazMatt, and that's it. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna keep it simple.
I'm Zeke, or Coach Zeke. What's up, guys?
I like that, dude.
Yeah, I like that.
2 out of 3.
I know. 2 out of 3, not too bad, dude. Not too bad. All right. So
obviously, we got a ton of knowledge, man.
Oh, yes.
Last Direct. Yeah, Last Direct was super nuts. We found out that we have even more rules that we need to make. So, guys,
Thank God.
let's talk about this rule set. So let's start off first. I think let's talk for an easy one, all right? Let's go to the easiest to the hardest. So, Stocks. What are we going to be doing this game, man? I'm going to start with you.
We all know this.
No, we already know the answer.
We already
but
know
you know
this.
what? I'm going to go ahead and give it to people. So, HazMatt, you're first, man.
easy. You started off just like we've done since Brawl. You start off at 3 and adjust where necessary. Straightforward. That's it, man.
That's it, man.
I like this guy, HazMatt. We have the
That's the
same
answer.
name, and
That's
he's
the answer,
just
bro.
a good guy.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's just an answer. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, dude. That's it. Zeke, where you at, man?
So what's going to happen is that half of the United States is going to play two-stock because they think the game is going to be too fast or too slow. And
No
then
way!
half of the United States.
What regions? What regions?
I'm not gonna. You want me to put people on blast? That's messed up,
Yes,
man.
blow 'em up. What? Of course.
And
Blow 'em up.
then
When have
we're
you been
gonna-
afraid to put people on blast?
Yeah.
And then we're gonna have other regions that are gonna be like, this game is so fast, we have to play with 3, or if it's gonna be some crazy people, you know, Houston might do like 3 or 4 stocks and some crazy stuff. You never know what's gonna happen with that. And then we'll hopefully be able to have a consensus from there. The most important thing is just getting it figured out and everyone being able to decide by Genesis. That's really it.
That's
I
such a
agree.
short amount of time.
Okay.
3 weeks.
D1, what do you think, man? I think you gotta make some interesting faces over there. What game are you playing?
Yeah.
The Legend of K anniversary right now for the Nintendo Switch. Big shout outs to THQ Nordic for providing me with the free product.
Dude,
Free
that guy's
product, free
professional.
product. Anyways, can you answer the question, please?
All right. Here we go. So, I finally got to pause. I was in the middle of a cutscene. As far as Smash Ultimate is concerned, I keep calling it Smash 5. I also agree that we should do 3 stocks. I made a tweet out the gate the moment we were able to see the game that I think that 3 stock would be the way to go. And one of the reasons for this is because of the fact that looking at Smash 4, we did go with 3 stocks in the beginning, but then we started realizing, like, wait a second, because of vectoring and because of the way certain people have been playing the game, they were thinking that maybe it's time for us to like lower the amount because it might have been, you know, we probably opened up way too many opportunities for matches to take far too long. And even though there were some players that were on the wait, shh. Okay, so yeah, I just think at the end of the day, we tried in the beginning because I remember Sky's #V Invitational. We did 3 stocks. Yeah, we did 3 stocks there, and even like Mr. Wizard was coming here like with customs and all that stuff. All I know is end of the day, it's better now if we go with 3 stocks, and from there, just like HazMatt said, we'll just figure it out.
Okay, first off, HazMatt's the GOAT, dude.
Yeah,
pull out a Switch. I like it.
right.
I like it.
I'm playing Octopath. We're playing games in between questions.
Why not?
So,
Why not?
I want to make a quick personal opinion on it. I think we're going to start off with 3 stocks, but this is going to be a later question. If we do get a final Smash meter, if we ever do go in that direction, I think we could.
I think we could go 4 stocks.
Okay. So I'm gonna
Open mind.
say-
Hashtag open mind.
Oh, all right, you got it. We're gonna have fun with that one.
We're definitely
We're not
having
gonna start. We're not gonna pump your brakes. We're not gonna start yet. All right, but I'm gonna just say, as far as stocks, 3 stocks easy. All right.
yeah.
I say this all the time. I don't care if I sound like a broken record. Smash 4 was a 2.5 stock game.
I agree.
That was one of the problems. It's a 2.5 stock game. Either it's too fast and people just die at rage and the people die in 2 seconds,
Or it's too
or the
slow.
game is going on forever and we're having Rosalina battles all going around. All right?
Shout out to Sonic.
Yeah. So I think that's why we always had some confusion going on with that game. That's why some people were like, oh, maybe we should still do 3. And then, of course, people were like, oh, 2 stocks. We should stick with that. We've been doing it for a long time. So I think that this game has been fast enough or be made fast enough that it will be a proper 3-stock game. So I think that's where we're going to be with that.
I agree.
Yeah. Okay. So I know someone already talked about it. So you know what? Should we just get into
Yeah,
it?
we should. I mean,
just
it's
go
a hot
into the
topic right
nonsense?
now.
All right, man. Let's
right
talk
now.
about the metered final smashes. Let's talk about that. Okay.
Who was the most vocal? I think Zeke was. We should start off with
Zeke
him.
is always vocal about that stuff. So Zeke, tell me, man, do you think there is a dream world where meter final smashes can be possible? Yes and no. And do you think that it can be made possible if there was changes to it?
If there is any final smash that hits you and you die below 60%, or any final smash that puts you into a sleep, a stun, a witch time, whatever world of hurt that is, that hits you cross screen, if either of those things exist, we cannot play with meter, because then that makes the game extremely degenerate and revolve around the meter, and that's it, and nothing else. And there's no way to use meter or anything else. We don't have EX moves, we don't have any stuff. It's just final smash wins me this stock. I'm gonna sit and just slowly poke at you and get this meter, and that's gonna be my game plan. And for certain characters, that's gonna be either easier, or their final smashes are just gonna be worth doing that rather than actually fighting them. Example, even with Bayo nerfed, if she has the same witch time, whatever her final smash is that hits the entire screen, that's going to be the whole game plan. There's not going to be anything else.
What about it?
Hey, just to come on that on real quick, I don't know how much you played the game or how much you watched Final Smashes.
Yeah.
I haven't noticed any Final Smash like that. They revamped Final Smashes a lot. None of them are what you said. I haven't. Obviously, we don't have all the characters though, so we don't know.
Course, yeah.
Everyone's
the whole
video on like Smash Bros. Website has everyone's Final Smash in their trailer. So
Yeah.
I haven't seen anyone like that personally, but. Yeah.
All right, so to add on to what Zeke said, not to talk out of line here, but I'm sorry. As a slight rebuttal to Xzax, in agreement to Zeke.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
There was footage of Marth KOing Lucas at 20% with a final smash, and also it was already confirmed that Bayonetta could literally witch time like the entire screen. Like that's a hard confirm. There's already like people. Yeah. So that's just out the window. But but here's one thing I wanted to say. I am actually on board for final smashes with meter, but I want to see how it will fit into the competitive space. Another thing to say, as far as what Zeke is concerned, once meter is in the game, of course the meter is gonna be important. Period. Yeah. There's no way around it. You know, you can't what I want to see is how people will be able to build meter. Are people going to be rewarded when they're about to lose because an opponent has like a big lead over them? Because I did make mention way back that I would like Final Smash meter only if it somehow allows people that are having like a really bad deficit just allow them to shave off a stock if they're maybe down 2 stocks already or something to that nature. Because I was trying to watch footage of the game and it didn't make sense to me to see Wii Fit Trainer hitting all these characters and not gaining meter. But Mario, who gets knocked down on the ground and then rolls to the left while he's knocked down, for some reason, he builds meter. So I don't know what the engine's like. And because of that, it's actually really difficult for us to give a hard yes or no to Final Smash meter until we do more testing. So right now, it's just nebulous. And all I can say is that it's a cool concept, but we don't know if it's going to be banned or not. The end.
All right.
Amen.
So
Amen.
I gotta say, Bam, I'm a little disappointed you brought up Street Fighter 3 Third Strike without me on stream earlier.
Same here. Me too.
Literally, this is
man.
I'm sorry, bro.
Don't worry.
I know. Switch group. Yeah.
I got you. So Third Strike 2, you all know the top tiers are all very polarizing and have a big edge over the lower tiers because of their supers, which would essentially be what Final Smash would be. You look at Chun-Li, you look at Yoon, you look at Makoto and Ken, some of the best supers in the game. Even characters like Urien, who have good base games, are super built up higher because of their setups that they have with their supers.
Absolutely.
So as has been said by my two colleagues here, is that supers will be the meta in the game, and we've seen it before in the past, and it still is carried forward into more traditional fighters. So as D1 says, we really need to see how Meter is built, because you saw in Third Strike it really enforced this like strategy, especially with Chun-Li, who is like my least favorite fighting game character of all time in Third Strike. I hate her
Chun
so much.
forever, baby.
She without her super in Third Strike, her damage output is very low, so she's like a more balanced character. She doesn't have a huge punish game. She can zone very well. She can play footsies incredibly well, but without her super, she doesn't hit hard. But she has one of the best supers in the game that gives her a huge damage output and puts her from like maybe a mid-high tier character to a very top tier character.
Yeah.
So it's all about how they balance. My two feelings are I'm skeptical about the Smash meters, but I'm also very hopeful because it could be insanely cool if they are well balanced. And if they kill early, we can add more stocks to the game. If the problem is they kill early, we can add. It could be a 5-stock game.
Honestly, and another thing too, HazMatt, we didn't even talk about how characters like Little Mac and Cloud, they could actually potentially kill under 60% with their, like, one-hit KO moves, right? We have the finishing touch and Little Mac's KO punch. If you have the right percentage, you can actually KO the opponent at relatively low percents as well. And we didn't outright ban those, even though we saw Little Mac had like an unblockable one, because we realized like there was counterplay around it. So I'm just trying to let people know that even if these things may be pretty strong, if there's counterplay around these things being in the game, we shouldn't be so like averse to actually having it.
Definitely. No, we brought up Marth's Final Smash. That you can spot dodge that. There might be setups and stuff. We have no idea how that's going to work out. But
all that matters is the counterplay. That is the key word. Can I do something when Bayo does Final Smash? Yes or no? If the answer is no, it's not happening. If the answer is yes, we can experiment and figure out how, if it's actually like consistent. And that's the key word.
It's all part of balancing characters too. But like I said earlier, if your character is kind of a trash character but has an amazing Final Smash, then your gameplay is going to center around getting your Final Smash and using that. So it just kind of goes, do we want that to be like the meta? And it's kind of like a crazy big decision, especially to make early on, because it'll change how a ton of characters play and view the game in general.
Yeah, no, I agree. And like for me personally, I'm the way where if the Final Smashes were as they were right now, I would say no boy, no. Get that trash out of here. Sorry. All right. I think that what we've seen for meter management, same thing. Get the trash out of here. See ya. Like, we really haven't seen meter management that actually encourages people who are like actually fighting, like getting meter. I'm not opposed to it being like somewhat a little comeback mechanic. But I don't want it to be like, oh, I'm doing actions and hitting you and I'm getting nothing. And Mario's rolling to Timbuktu and all of a sudden he just got a full bar and he's going to jam me. I think that's ridiculous. But I think that meter as a whole is always a cool mechanic if done right. I think that in other games, it adds a ton of depth. We've seen it in a ton of traditional fighters. And also, like HazMatt was talking about, the same reason as to why Chun is broken, it could also become the same reason a character could be more viable. Yeah. And it's like that can happen for some little characters. So I think it's all about utility too. I think that we can look at smashes if they're like balanced towards like, oh, say for Marth, he can dash across the stage, right, and hit you. So I'd be like, I think it'd be fine if that would kill at like say maybe like 90 or something like that, right? Because it's like the utility of it is really good. Like I can dash across the screen and like do a smash to you essentially, right? I can just react to you and do that, and I think that's okay. But you need to be balanced in terms of utility can't be too crazy like global witch time. But I think that having utility is cool. And I think that having damage is appropriate. So as long as you're looking at those things, meter management, utility, and kill power, I think those are going to be the three things. If those things are dealt with accordingly, dude, I would love to see what we do with meter, because I feel like it's a way not to interrupt the percentage system that we already have built into the game, but still add depth. I felt like the problem with Rage at times was that it kind of affected the game in terms of percentage system in a weird way. Yeah. And then that's the thing that was kind of an issue. So that's what I would want to see with meter.
I completely agree with you on all the points you made. If it has all that, and obviously it might not start out that way, but Nintendo seems very, very into like listening to us and seeing what we think about the game. So I think that's something maybe who knows if they're watching now, or if we have discussions on Twitter and stuff, they could hear some of these suggestions that can make it work. But one of the biggest things I haven't heard anyone really talk about is, I don't know if you guys ever played Brawl Out. It's not the best game.
Yeah.
It is something very interesting with that game, is that you kind of have it.
Usually, like, you kind of like get a rage mode
Speed trigger,
activated.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it helps you recover. So it has other, if you have like full meter, it can help in other ways. So maybe if there's another aspect where it's just not just a kill move, or just not like a move to like help you make a comeback factor, but maybe come back to the stage, maybe give you like an extra B, or like, I don't know how they would implement it, but if they may also make it, because there's no EX, there's no nothing like that. If they have another way to implement it that is just not, a move to kill someone extremely low %, I think it would be really interesting if they add that.
Yeah, I actually really like in Brawl Out that you can use the meter as
Stock knockback.
Yeah, so you can stop knockback, and you can utilize it basically as a cancel.
Yeah.
So you can like cancel any action that you're doing at the time, and so that'd be kind of cool to add in additional strings and do kind of cool stuff.
That's what I mean. Like
So,
if they add something like that in there, and just not make it one universal type of thing, I think it'd be really, really great.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So
They gave Cloud that, where Cloud was able to do limit climb hazard and limit cross slash, et cetera, maybe like giving characters a beefed up version of their move just one time. But interesting thought there.
No, absolutely. So
EX which time?
let's go into another.
It'll be up.
My bad. Go ahead. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
You know, the ESA hat on too. I feel bad, dude. Out here supporting us.
Oh my god. I wasn't ready for him to say EX which time. That put me on tilt. I like the idea.
Yeah, me too.
And I think it would definitely be good. I'm more for the utility aspect rather than beefing up moves. That's my personal perspective. I think it especially with defensive options, or like same with like stuff like that, like extra recoveries, gives you another jump. I don't know, anything along that. I think is a lot more interesting than I hit you harder now. That's my perspective on it.
Yeah, definitely agree. Speaking of hitting you harder, man, let's go into the rage. So a lot of us looked at the footage. It seems like we may have a rage toggle. So a lot of people, of course, their knee-jerk reaction is, get rage out of here. It's stupid. It's dumb. It killed my children. Blah, blah, blah. It's just an absolute travesty. So I'm going to start off with Zeke, because I know you made a post the other day about it and echoed a lot of thoughts that I definitely agree with. So let's talk about it, man. Rage toggle.
So
toggle.
The moment
There we go. Professional
Give me the toggle. Yeah, absolutely.
It's like a goggle.
Anyway.
There you go. So the most important thing is, first we have to find out, is it a percentage for rage? Can we control that? Or is it just on or off? Because if it's just on or off, the biggest thing that happens is, do characters now end up being able to combo forever? Or do characters end up losing the ability to get kills with moves? Or like vice versa? Like, that's the thing, is rage is something that, at least in Smash 4 specifically, was designed around characters' kits and everything, and was used to balance them. So characters, and the example I used is okay, but it's like DDD, with modding and stuff like that, people figured out, like, if we just don't have a rage, right? DDD's back air is a great example of a move that, like, at low percent combos, but without rage, it will never kill you. It should never kill you unless you're like, here's the blast zone and I'm right here, it's gonna kill you. But if you get hit anywhere on the stage, unless you're at like 250%, that's not gonna kill. And one of the things that people hated the most about Brawl is that characters like Snake never died. And that was part of like the mechanics of like, hit stun. Oh my god, I just forgot what it's called. Of being able to cancel your hit stun. And like, that's the whole idea. It's like, if the game itself is just like keeping you alive longer against most characters' moves, most people are gonna get annoyed by that. But then there's also the people who want to combo you forever and all that stuff, and it just comes down to what the community consensus wants the game to be, right? Do we want combos and all this stuff and all that, but it's harder to get kills? Or do you want to be able to be like, have that little bit of a comeback and all that stuff to then get a kill? How much control we have over it defines how that's all going to kind of lay out. I'm not for it. I'm not against it. I want to know what we can do and how it breaks or fixes the game, vice versa, on and off.
Quick comment. Rage was toned down a lot as well. So there's not that much of a drastic change anyway. So just I really like the direction you're going in, but I don't think Rage changes how much you can kill people that much.
Yeah, we all have to see. The big thing that we always have to keep in mind is the game's not done. And even like the balloon hit stun, that's something that could just not be in the game. And we're all kind of looking into it, and we don't know. And so that's the biggest thing. We can't decide any of that stuff until we literally play it.
Absolutely. D1, you want to speak? Speak.
I don't want Rage to ever make a comeback. I'm totally fine with being able to play the game and figure out what percentages my moves will kill. I understand that some people are a fan of that, but like at the end of the day, if I'm not really getting touched by my opponent and I'm not in the percentages where Rage is a factor and I'm just cleanly beating my opponent, I mean, even with Rage not even being that drastic to begin with, I understand people probably want to reward those that are losing, but we've been pretty much fine without having it, and people have been quite vocal about how they didn't like the inclusion of it in the game. And then now that we're near the tail end of Smash 4, all of a sudden people are changing their tone. I myself would love to have consistent combos all throughout. That way I could just map things out and realize, okay, I don't have to, all I have to worry about is knockback growth. I don't have to have that added variance coming through. But like you said, again, we'll wait to see what happens when the game comes out. I'm just on the fence of trying to keep things as consistent as possible in a game that has variables such as DI and, you know, that's just me from a person that comes from a traditional fighting game background, right? Because I didn't start off in Smash. So when I played all these other fighting games, I would sit in the lab and I would just lab certain setups out, certain combos out. I didn't have to worry about all the only thing I had to really worry about is just DI and knockback growth, you know. But and if a move had a tipper, you know, like a function added to it or whatever. Other than that, like this is just old man D1 talking. I'm more open to final smashes with meter than Rage. But again, Rage got nerfed, so we'll see what happens. But I am so much more happy to just turn it off and let it die in a fire. Next.
Yeah, no, I playing those traditional fighting games with knockback growth and you know DI, right?
I couldn't hear you, Bam.
Oh, you can hear me? Oh, that's good.
Next,
he was talking about N64.
HazMatt, man, you're next, man.
All right, cool. So I do like a couple things. I want to say it's super cool that at the very least, Rage has been toned down. I think we talked about that. Everyone's talked about that. That is super amazing. I think everybody at every level can agree, and everyone's experienced it at some point playing in a tournament. They've lost a game, a stock, or a set because the opponent survived something and kept their rage and just was able to every time. You know what I mean? And that's something that, like, even the thing I like about Rage is that heavies for the longest time in Smash had the hardest time being tournament viable, right? Like, it's super, super hard to be a heavy and be good, except for like Snake and Ryu, obviously, but they're kind of like niche cases. I'm talking big body characters, you know, like DK, Bowser, King K. Rool now. Like, all those characters have such a hard time, you know, getting balanced because you can't have a character be heavy and be, you know, have all the advantages that the smaller, lighter characters have, like having cool combos and being able to rack up damage super fast. So I think as a way to balance out like heavy characters, they can live longer. So if they have some way to kind of reward people for living longer, I think this was kind of like a soft little like touch to try to help out the heavy characters, which I really like because I love playing as a lot of heavy characters and it's really fun. However, Rage was just such a, like, I don't know, man. It's such a like a love-hate type thing with Rage because I appreciate what they tried to do with it, but I think at the same time you do see lighter characters hitting that max Rage, especially on stages like Battlefield. You know, Bayonetta getting to 150 can kill you at 0%. Like, it's so possible right now in Smash 4. So I'd like to see what they can do with it. I also love that they gave us a toggle too. Giving us options, really listening to us as a community is amazing. So if there is Rage and we have to use it, at least it's toned down. If we have the choice to turn it off, I think we should try with it off initially.
Oh, one more thing. One more thing to add on. I was gonna say, the only thing that I really didn't like about Rage is if I am a person that is at a high percent and I'm already steamrolling my opponent, I have an easier time steamrolling them already because I'm going to have like that added knockback. And I've seen it happen, you know. It's like, okay, do I really want to ensure this 2-stock? Yes, I can, because my character has the right combo tools to just boost you up to the top quickly, since I already know what my rage combos are. You know, there's way less effort when it comes to executing some of these rage combos as well. So some people say it allows people who are getting beat to to run it back, or to, you know, be able to turn the tables and get a win. But also it allows the person who's already kicking ass to continue to kick ass.
Yeah. A great example being Fox, with 90 rage on every character in the game. He can like up tilt down air and hit all these crazy combos that he can't hit without rage. Even like Mario normally can like nair out of like up tilt down air at like 30, right? But with 90 rage, Fox gets that combo, and that's really nasty and like leads to crazy follow-ups and stuff like that. Like opens up a whole new window. So it really comes down to how rage itself is tuned and how it affects multi-hits and how it affects knockback growth and stuff. Like, once we see exactly how it's tuned down and all that stuff, because rage as an idea is something that isn't inherently bad. It was just way too strong. And that's the whole thing, is if it doesn't just make it so that like, oh, hey, I grab you at 60 and I cargo up there you and you die because I'm at 150, that's the problem. If they make it so that doesn't happen, then it's fine.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. So I think all in all, when it comes down to rage, we talked about, like, I think there's something that we're looking for.
It can be too polarizing, as D1 was saying. Either you destroy someone like even worse, or you have a comeback. And I think it's kind of convoluted when it's put in tandem with the general percentage system that we have, because that is already a complex system, far more complex than the HP that you see in other traditional fighters. But anyways, guys, it looks like we are done. Apparently, this production guy is trying to kick me out of here, and I'm gonna fight him right now. But I hate D1. But guys, thank you so much for joining us. I think we're gonna, for next week, I think we're gonna talk about stage lists. So if you guys want to join us for that one, I think that'll be really fun. And on the point of HazMatt talking about heavies, I actually wanted to talk about the changes in heavies in Smash Bros. Ultimate and why I think that's gonna be the better way to deal with them rather than the rage mechanic.
Ding dong.
So, anyways, guys, thank you so much again for joining us. Everyone at home, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for tuning in. And tune in next week for another episode of Break It Down.
Peace out, guys.